Hola clase, ¿qué tal? Welcome back to yet another screencast for Spanish 1. Just as a quick reminder, screencasts are designed for students to get the information in English that they have already gotten in Spanish or prior to getting the information in Spanish. And the purpose of the screencast is to clarify the information in English so that you can continue to keep the integrity of the program and speak Spanish in class as you have done so well so far. So keep it up, you guys. So rewind it, pause it, go back, watch it again, do whatever you need to do until you understand the concept. If at any point screencasts are not working for you, then you need to make an appointment with the teacher and have a discussion about the material. Today we're going to look at pronombres personales, so we're looking at personal pronouns. And let's just refresh our memories, and pronouns are words that take the place of a noun. And as you see them here, you will recognize them. And let's just, let me just let you know that we're going to see a total of 6 forms, and some of them will be in the masculine form, and some of them will be in the feminine form, and some of them will be plural, and some of them will be singular, depending if you are talking to one or more people, or if you're talking about one or more people. So let's start off with first person singular. In Spanish, the pronoun is yo. In English is I. Second person singular, we've got the informal form, as you already know, and this is the to form. In English, this is you. Again, we use it to informally or talk to people that we know. Okay, and the second option for the second person singular for the pronoun, it's the form of usted. And then let's just clarify that in Spain, usted is used only formally to talk to individuals in a very respectful manner or in a very polite manner. And in Central or South America, you can choose to use usted to talk formally to people or informally. So you could talk to your friends technically using the usted form in Central and South America. And let's go back real quick. And once again, the pronoun in English for usted would be you. Okay, so now let's look at third person singular, and let's look at the masculine form. So here we've got two people talking to each other, and then they're talking about él, which in this case the masculine form, and that would be he. And now third person singular, we look at the feminine form. Once again, we've got two individuals talking to each other, and they're talking about the girl over here. Ella. The pronoun is she. So let's move on. Now we look at the plural forms. We've got first person plural, okay, and we've got here basically myself and one more person. That would make it nosotros. If I had myself and two other people, that would make it nosotros. And if I had myself and three other people, that would still make it nosotros. The pronoun in English is we. Now pay attention that the nosotros form can be used in two options. You can use it in a group of only masculine individuals in it, or it can be used in a mixed group where you have chicos y chicas, you have boys and girls, masculine and feminine, and as long as you have one masculine person in there, you would use the nosotros form. So as long as you have one masculine person within the group, you would stick to the masculine form. Okay, so let's look at first person plural, and now let's look at the feminine form of it. So if I was a girl and this was me and there was one more, that would be nosotras. If it was myself and two other people, it would still be nosotras. And if it was myself and three other people, it would still be nosotras. Then again, here you can only use the nosotras form if we are all girls. And there's your pronoun in English, we. So now let's look at second person plural, and we're going to run into the same issue as we did with the singular part of the second person. So what we're going to have is the vosotros form, which is informally used in Spain. This is the familiar form that we use in Spain. Okay, and then again, we've got the same scenario. If it's you and another person, then it's vosotros, which technically here you would need a boy and not two girls. And then here you've got yourself and two other people, and there's your boy. So there is what makes this now the vosotros form is this individual. It's a male. And if it was you and three other people, it would still be vosotros. I'm talking to you guys. And this is the familiar form, which is only used in Spain. Now remember, if you've got a mixed group and you've got one masculine individual in there, you would use the vosotros form. So let's move to the feminine form of the vosotros. So now this would be the vosotras. So I'm talking to you guys, familiar in Spanish, and this is only used in Spain. And then again, we've got a group of only ladies, so we would use the vosotras. Okay? So now let's look at the formal second person plural. Okay, let's look at that pronoun. So here we're going to go now to the ustedes. Okay, so I would be talking to you guys formally. Okay, in Spain, the ustedes form is only used to direct yourself formally to other individuals to show respect and politeness. And once again, in Central and South America, the ustedes form can be used informally or formally. Okay, so either one of those can be used. Okay, so it would be usted and one other person, or usted and two other people, or usted and three other people. Okay, there's your group. And let's look at third person plural. And let's look at the masculine form first. So we've got the ellos form, so we are talking, and this is they over here. Okay, so it's he and one other person, or he and two other people, and he or three other people, three more, and that would be they. There's the last partner. And once again, here we go. If you've got a group of all boys, you would use ellos. If you've got a mixed group in which you have just one boy, you would use ellos. And the pronoun in English is they. Okay, and here we go. Third person plural, the feminine form of it. If it's ella and one other person, or ella and two other people, or ella and three other people, we're going to call them ellas. In this case is they. Once again, that is the pronoun in English, they. And only ladies. Okay, guys, so that's pretty much it. So let's just wrap it up and let's look at our graphic organizer. We've got pronombres personales. Here we go. Primera, segunda, tercera. Primera, segunda, tercera. And then we've got singular forms and plural forms of it. So, primera persona singular is yo, I in English. Segunda persona singular is tú or usted. Familiar form for you is tú. And the formal form for you is usted. Remember, usted is only used in Spain formally, and in Central or South America, the usted form can be used formally or informally to address people. Third person, we've got él or ella, so él is the masculine form, and ella is the feminine form, he or she. Okay, and then here we go, we've got the plural form, okay, of first person, we've got nosotros. That's we, and that would be either only a group of males or a mixed group with at least one male in it, and then nosotras form, which would be a group of only females. And then you guys, here we go. We've got de vosotros and de vosotras form, which is only used in Spain. Familiar, okay, informally. De vosotros form, once again, you guys, a group of boys, or you guys, a mixed group with at least one boy. And the vosotras form would be a group of only ladies. And then the ustedes form would be formally used in Spain if you're addressing someone formally, if you're being really polite or you're being really respectful. Again, you are talking to an adult, an elderly person, a policeman. Okay. And the ustedes forms, remember that it can be used either formally or informally in Central and South America. And last but not least, we've got the ellos form or the ellas form, which is they. It's the pronoun in English. And we've got ellos. It's a group of only boys, or once again, a mixed group of at least one boy in it. And the ellas form would be a group of only ladies. So there's your screencast. Any questions? Make an appointment with the teacher, and we'll see you next time. Hasta la pasta. Okay, hey guys, so now that you have done the screencast and you've learned a little bit about pronouns, pronombres, let's look at some ejemplos, some modelos, to see how they correspond exactly with nouns. So, instrucciones, instructions. Escribe el pronombre correcto. So if you look at this table, we've got the left side, and on the left side we have a series of sustantivos. We've got some nouns, and we've got some regular sustantivos, and then we've got some personal nouns indicating people. And on the right, we have the corresponding pronoun. So let's just kind of walk through these. So, número uno, el chico. So, el chico, I would be talking about he. So, the pronoun for el chico would be él. So, if I was talking about el chico and I didn't want to say the word el chico, I could simply substitute that with the pronoun él. Now pay attention that él as a pronoun has the accent mark versus él as a artículo definido, a definite article, does not have the accent mark, and that's the big difference. And remember that artículos are always attached to an actual noun. Okay, número dos, la chica. So if I was talking about la chica and I didn't want to repeat the noun la chica, I would be referring to her. So in this class I would be referring to what she does, and the pronoun in Spanish would be ella. Pronoun for Paco would be él, third person. The pronoun for Paco y Lola, now we've got two people, so we're gonna have to have a plural pronoun. And so here I'm talking about él, Paco, and I'm talking about also Lola, ella, so Paco y Lola. Here we have a mixed group, and we do have one masculine individual within this group, so we would have to go with the masculine form of the pronoun, and that would be ellos. Número 5, Juan y Luis. Again, we're talking about Juan, and we're talking about Luis. We're talking about what they do. In this case, Juan y Luis are both masculine individuals, so we would use the pronoun ellos, third person plural. And then Lola y Maria. So then again, we've got Lola, who is a feminine individual, and we've got Maria, who's also a feminine individual, and it is a group. So there's two of them. So in this case, once again, it's third person plural, and I am talking about what they are doing, and the pronoun would be ellas. Let's move on to another example. So here we have más ejemplos, más modelos. Again, escribe el pronombre correcto. And here let's just pay attention. So now here, instead of actually having nouns on there, what I have is the actual person who is speaking, or who is being spoken to or about. So just remember that in conversations you can have either first person, second person, or third person. First person refers to I, the person who is talking, that is initiating the conversation. Second person would be you, the person who is listening to the conversation and is part of the conversation. Remember, a conversation is always between two people, and it could be between two or more people. And the third person would be either he or she in the singular form, or they in the plural form, and this is often who we are talking about. So often we may have a conversation between I and you, and we will be talking about he or she. So this is where first, second, and third person come in, and then we can have either singular or plural of such individuals. So if número uno, we talk about what is the pronoun for primera persona singular.
Well, it's going to have to be yo, the person who is talking, the person who is initiating the conversation, first person singular. If we're talking in número dos about third person plural, this is going to be talking about someone else. So I may be having a conversation between I and you, and we may be talking about he or she. So in this case, third person plural would be talking about they, since it's plural. So it might be talking about Lola and Paco and what they are doing. So in this case, the pronoun or the pronombre for third person plural would be ellos o ellas. And here you would give me both options, since I am not specifying whether I'm looking for masculino or femenino. Número tres, we have segunda persona singular. So if I'm asking for the pronoun for segunda persona singular, I would be asking for the pronoun for you. And in this case, we have two options since I'm not specifying. So the two options would be either tú for a informal or familiar pronoun, someone that I know, that is a friend, someone that is a family member, and the second option would be usted if I am talking formally. Now let's take into consideration that the usted form in Spain is strictly used formally to show respect or to show that you are being very well mannered towards someone, and you would use it to talk to someone of a high authority, such as a teacher, a doctor, a policeman, a clerk who you may be discussing something with. However, in Central and South America, the usted form can be used either formally or informally, and we will talk more about this. So here we go, número cuatro, segunda persona plural. So now we're in second person, but now instead of singular as the previous one, we're talking plural. So it would be me or I having a conversation between you and somebody else, meaning you guys. Now it's plural. So in this case, again, we have a couple options. We have the vosotros and vosotras, you guys, and which is only used in Spain. And because I'm not specifying here whether I'm asking for masculino or femenino, you would give me both options. The pronoun, the options would be either vosotros or vosotras, and I would also have the option of ustedes, the formal in Spain option for you guys, or in Central and South America, the option for either formal or informal for you guys. And then número 5, what is the pronoun for primera persona plural femenino? Here I'm being much more specific. So primera persona plural, so here the pronoun is referring to I, and in English it would just be I. In Spanish, well, here we go. So here, since we are looking for primera persona plural and it's femenino, there would only be one option, and that would be nosotras, since it's femenino. And last but not least, we have número 6, and here we're looking for tercera persona singular masculino. What is the pronoun that refers to such? And in this case, now we have tercera persona, it's singular, so we know if we look at that, it's going to be either él or ella, either he or she. And in this case, we're looking for masculino, so we know we have to narrow that down to just él, he. And that would be the tercera persona singular masculino pronombre. Okay, so these are some examples. Next, you've got an option to do some practice samples on your own. Get these done before you come back to class. Again, we will go over this in class, and I will give you a presentation in Spanish, and we will continue to practice these. You may watch the screencast as many times as you would like. Remember that the screencast is also available on the K drive at school, and you can always just download that into a USB or some kind of a memory stick and have it with you at all times. You can go back and review it. If you have any other questions, please make sure that you contact me and that you make an appointment and we can have a one-on-one discussion about it. Or you can email me and ask questions or make an appointment that way as well. Okay, chicos y chicas, muchas gracias. Good luck with the next few exercises as practice. And nos vemos en clase. Chao.